Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the online import presentation. I hope you've been enjoying the conference so far, and I appreciate your attention here. We'll be covering online import sources and available updates functionalities during this session. My name is Jason Teitel, and I'm an implementation manager on the Americas team, based out of New York City. I have been on the Pure team since January of 2017, and have happily helped many of you with implementations and JIRA tickets over the last 4 years. A bit about me. I'm happy to have a Dalmador, which is a Dalmatian lab mix dog, as part of my family. She helps keep us in shape, and she's a real goofball, so she gives us lots of laughs. And as part of what I do in my spare time, I do a lot of cooking and baking. And next month, I look forward to creating something special for a recipe share within the Pure team. But you'll have to watch Twitter updates for that. All right. So points of interest for today will be new online sources, updated search features, and a review of the available updates functionality. Let's blast off. The new online sources available with 519 are Unpaywall, Core, and BioArchive. All three of these sources are available as manual import sources. Unpaywall is available as an automated import source as well. Just as a refresher, a manual import source allows a Pure user to search a specific online source, like Scopus, for relevant publications. And as you can see here, these sources have many different criteria you can use to search for publications. Online sources that also have the option for an automated search give users a boost by searching through publication sources and presenting relevant candidates for a person based on source ID and/or name variants saved to a Pure profile. Pure users can then review a list of candidates and import or reject the publication. As a researcher, Pure will show you a link for new import candidates on the right-hand taskbar, and as an editor, you can find the results of this automated search in the Research Outputs menu under Import Candidates. All right. 518 also gave us some updates to these automated search features. You can enable an automated ID search for Scopus and Web of Science, which means if a profile has a Scopus or researcher ID, Pure will automatically turn on the automated search for these sources for persons with IDs. Just so you know, this means that the source will only use the ID and not a name for searching. This is because Pure will only pull publications related to those IDs. Our next topic is available updates for online sources. But before I move on, I just wanted to make a note. When I talked about the online import sources, such as Scopus and Web of Science, we have a full listing of the possible sources on the client space. And you can see that right on the client wiki, and we will share the URL for that in the live chat. All right. So our next topic is the available updates from online sources. As you heard yesterday from a few different people, Pure now has the capability to update research output records automatically from online sources. This means that you can have Pure maintain specific data points in each record. It can even be done from different sources to customize the quality of your data. For instance, Scopus might give you the best abstract, but your publication status might come from a different source like Mendeley or PubMed. So Pure allows for over 30 different fields to be updated automatically. Once Pure identifies a possible update, if it is not being applied automatically based on a rule, you can find the suggested updates listed on the Editor tab under Research Output Content as available updates. When you open the output record that has the suggested update, you'll see the current and suggested values that you must select one or the other to save the record. Oh, sorry, I think I've gone too far. Look at that. There we are. That's what I was looking for. So here you can see an example of the research output record and the two different pieces of data. You have an example of the type from Scopus and from existing data. What you have to do here is select one of these before you save in order to move on and clear the available update. You can find the configuration for the available updates in the Administrator tab under the Research Outputs menu titled Import and Available Candidates Configuration. It's pictured here. This area allows you to select which source or sources you would like to draw updates from and which user roles can view and edit these available updates. Note, if you configure a new source in Pure, as you can see here, we have Scopus, PubMed, and Web of Science. If you were to add Mendeley, for instance, it will automatically be added to this area and turned on for automatic updates. You can use this area to decide, all right, I don't need the updates from all the sources. I just want updates from specific sources. When you scroll down in the admin window, oh, and by the way, the sources that are available, the sources that are integrated with available updates are Scopus, Mendeley, PubMed, Web of Science Lite, Embase, ORCID, and Unpaywall. Again, that's listed on the Pure Client Wiki. So, as you scroll down, you'll see the rules configuration area. Here, you can create rules which will update or ignore a selected field. Oh, sorry, this is the source area. So it allows you to select which source or sources you would like to draw updates from and which user roles can view and edit the available space, right? When you see these rules, you have to decide, is it going to apply to one source or multiple sources? It's important to note that a rule which updates a field can only apply to one source at a time. Meaning, if I want to update abstracts at the moment, I have to say, all right, I want abstracts updated from Scopus or Mendeley or PubMed. I can't actually update a field from multiple sources at this time. But when you decide to ignore a field, you can ignore it from multiple sources. You next have to select the action, either update or ignore, that Pure will take if data is found from the selected source. The action options for automatically apply are pretty straightforward, as if blank or overwrite. The ignore if only property selection is a bit unique. This means that if the selected field is the only item to be updated in Pure, then it should be ignored until there are more than one updates available for that record. You can find more information about update rules on the client wiki space in the release notes, and we'll post the URL into the live chat. So, How does Pure know when to search for available updates? All right, there's a cron job which harvests the updates from online sources, and it's called Available Updates from Online Sources. Very unique. The job can be configured to review updates for research output published for a certain year. So what this means is, as we move ahead in time, publications don't get updated as often. And we don't want to search backwards in time because that just takes up too much resources. It's not needed, and you're not going to see as many updates. Therefore, we can configure this to more recent publications. Then, once we have added that, it's going to look at how many records at a time. We usually leave this at a low number so the job runs quickly. And finally, the days before rescan. The days before rescan is how this job uses, or is what this job uses to schedule itself automatically. That means that by default, the available updates jobs will ensure all publications are scanned within the time frame of the number of days listed here. The last important item would be force run. This option will review all publications for records all publication records for updates during the next job run. As a note, this will greatly increase your job run time. The last slide I have is listing some of the notable improvements that have been suggested for these functionalities from your Pure colleagues. Feel free to log into Jira and vote for any of the ones that you might support or find useful. What do we have here? Prioritize sources. As I mentioned, at the moment, you can only update data from one source. One of the suggested improvements would be to allow a hierarchy or prioritization of the sources so that if there's an update from Scopus, we take it. But if there's also an update from other fields when this is blank, from other sources, it might populate the field more appropriately. So you can suggest, all right, Scopus is a trusted source, but if there's no update from Scopus, maybe we might get a better update from a different source. Adding a rule to update external author affiliations. This is an interesting idea, which would allow an external author who has moved from one location or one organization to another, it gets updated. Separate rules for the publication status and dates. The dates may change or the status may change independently of one another, and therefore we might want to update that separately. Extra information from external authors as well, total number of authors, and the automated search via a sync job. So maybe we want to configure automated search as well using XML or some other method. And finally, we want to add ORCID to automated search IDs as it's becoming a more well-known and well-used ID. Again, these are all suggestions and updates to improve Pure that are available for you to vote for in Jira. So let's summarize what we've gone over today. Our new import sources, new features related to automatic search, and available updates, which allows you to customize research output records with curated data from multiple sources to improve the quality of data within research output records. All right. Do we have any questions?
Yes, I think we do. Let me get back to the questions that were asked. Thank you, Jason, for this introduction, or more briefly, this talk about all the marvelous things you are doing. I must say, apart from being a big help, these automated updates have also given me a slight headache because they improve my work time by a lot. But they are useful nonetheless, so I'm not complaining. One question that came in is Pure planning to add any additional sources to importing? And if not, or if yes, how can we impact that?
Right. So I know that the The team that handles the online import sources are constantly reviewing which sources we have. There are new sources added in Pure all the time. And if you're interested in a specific source, you can search Jira to see if it's been requested, or you can request it yourself. It does take quite a while to integrate with a new source, as there are many legal details to be ironed out.
Okay, thank you for that reply. There were no other questions coming in, Jason. I think it was very clear on your end how it works and what it does. I have a question of my own. When the integration of Unpaywall comes in, will it also update the open access status of a certain publication, or will that be separate? Or how does the integration with Unpaywall, will it interfere with the updated automated updates?
That's a very good question. The open access, you know what? I actually am not sure how they connect. Mm-hmm. I had not reviewed the available updates in respect to the open access yet.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't answer that directly, but we can find an answer.
Perfect. That is not an issue. I was just wondering it myself because we at the moment are updating all the open access labels, and for the automated updates, sometimes they come in, sometimes they don't, probably because they are not at the source. But Unpaywall does have this information, so I was just wondering if there won't be any interference between Unpaywall and the job, or if it will be integrated in the job. I don't know. But thank you for finding that out and getting back to us.
Yes, I know that we are also constantly adding fields that can be updated for the records. So, and I know, the open access data is available on those records. So we'll find out.
Perfect. I think we are going to wrap up your session, Jason. There are no more questions coming in, and I still have a few people to thank because this is the last presentation of the day and of the conference. So thank you once again thank you all for the speakers for speaking today. It was a lot of information, especially that shows us that money matters also in Pure. Also, thank you to Elsevier for making this conference possible in these trying times. Also to the technical team for making this as smooth as possible today. And I've really taken away today that I should unmute my mic before I speak. So that's something I learned. Please head over to stream 1 for the wrap up of this conference. And I hope to see you all next year in person and in good health. Goodbye, everyone.